Hey guys, welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel. I haven't been posting a lot, but I really like the last video that I made of this, so I think I want to do that again. And there's a lot of things popping up, shows and movies that I want to do like reactions to or commentaries, so hopefully I can get those out this month. So this video is my January wrap up, and to be honest, I didn't even really watch that many things or read that much because I was kind of busy, but I think it was a good month. So I'm gonna start with movies, and I'm gonna look at my letterbox because I always forget what I watched. And if you want to follow my letterbox, I'll put it right here or a link down below. Oh, okay, starting off strong. Well, also I'm gonna talk about the movies, the books, and the shows that I watched and the books that I read. So, okay, so the first thing that I watched was Megan, and I freaking loved it. Like, I love stupid movies like that. It's not even that it's just stupid. It was just like a well done comedy. Like, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but they have little bits that were so unexpected that the whole theater just kind of like cracked up. I give it like 4 and a half. 4 stars. This is a new like classic here. Not to mention like the whole concept of like an AI gaining sentience is just so creepy. I think they played it like really safe. I think it's a PG-13 rating, but if they did like a rated R rating, that would have been gnarly. They did some cutscenes that I was kind of like, I was having a good time watching it, and there were some scenes that I was like glad they kind of cut away because I wanted to keep my mood up. Like, I was having a blast, and I think if they kept it in, it would have satisfied a lot of like the horror fans of it, like that want to watch like the horror aspects of the movie. For me, I was just having a good time, and I just wanted to keep having a good time. And I think if they did some of the things like rated R, then I would have been like, oh, it still would have been good, but it was a blast. I don't know. I loved it. The next thing I watched is on Netflix. It's called The Pale Blue Eye, and I was so excited to watch this movie. It has Christian Bale and Henry Melling. I think that's his name. Henry Melling is from Harry Potter. He played Dudley. He was, oh my god, like Christian Bale, obviously he's gonna be amazing, but he's amazing in everything. But is Harry or Henry? I always get Harry, okay. I always get confused. He was so good. Like, he's such a little weirdo, like he plays Edgar Allan Poe, and the whole thing is like a detective, like a mystery thing. It was really good, but I think it was a little bit slow for me, and the fact that it was slow, like, it kind of like did drag on a little bit, but there were some twists and turns in it, and I loved the aesthetic of it. I'm obsessed with like the gothic kind of aspect of this movie. So that alone was like enough for me to like it. I just wish the story kind of picked up a little bit and that it was shorter. But that's just a personal thing. I gave The Pale Blue Eye 3.5 stars. And if you're like into slow burns, detective-ish movies with the Edgar Allan Poe-like aesthetic, then you might like this. So check it out. It's on Netflix. Okay, the next thing I watched was The Whale. I watched it in theaters with my friend, and I liked it, but I can't say I would ever want to watch it again. But the performances were amazing. Like, Brendan Fraser, he did so good. So the whole thing is he's like an overweight man. Basically, he's like dying throughout the whole movie just because he's so overweight. And he has a friend that comes over. She's a nurse, so she's always like checking up on him. And he has a daughter that's kind of a bitch, which is played by Sadie Sink. The whole thing took place in his house. So it's like one of those movies. I'm not a big fan of like friendship or like deeper human connection movies. Like, I don't know, I'm just not the biggest fan of those stories, but I will say that it was really good. It was really well done, and the supporting actress Hong Chow, forgive me if I'm pronouncing her name wrong, she was so good. She is nominated for Best Supporting Actress at the Oscars, and I think she deserves it. I would love to see her win that. Yeah, towards the end of that movie, me and my friend were sitting at the theater, like, we were just sitting there crying. We couldn't stop crying. And I was so embarrassed. Bring tissues if you're gonna watch that movie. I was sobbing like a baby. And not even just at the end. I was kind of crying like throughout the movie. It's very good. Just not my favorite kind of movie. I did give that one 4 stars too. Oh my god. The next movie I watched is Possession. It came out in 1981. It's a horror movie, and if you want to watch it, it's on Shudder right now. You can get a free trial, a free 7-day trial. I signed up for the free trial just to watch this movie, but I was going through Shudder and I was like, there's a lot of movies here that I would want to watch, which there was another one that I watched on Shudder. And I might just pay for it because I really love horror movies. I don't know, I'm excited to see like all the different types of horror movies on there. Okay, so Possession, it's on the surface, it's about this couple and the girl they're going through a divorce and she admits to cheating on her husband. And they have a kid. And that's literally what it's about. Her and her husband kind of go down this like rabbit hole of like insanity. It's just such a crazy movie. I don't even know how to describe it. She's just going crazy throughout the entire movie. I think it's worth it to mention that the director was going through a divorce at this time. At least that's what I've read on a bunch of like reviews and articles. It's so crazy. I don't know how else to describe it. I'll put this little screenshot here. This scene, oh my gosh, damn, this is a great performance. It was uncomfortable and I really liked it. And some people might say like this movie was weird, there was no point to it or whatever, but I loved it. I can't stop thinking about it. And even now, like, it's kind of been like popping up in my head a little bit. If you like horror, it's like a very bizarre movie. If you like bizarre movies, then you might like this one. And it's kind of, to me, there's like a whole femcel thing going on right now. If you're into those type of movies, you might like this movie. I gave that one 4.5 stars, and I might give it 5 stars. Just because I've been thinking about it so much. It's like stuck in my head. The next movie I watched is Infinity Pool, and I was lucky enough to go to a director like Q&A thing at my theater that I always go to. Oh my god, this movie is so polarizing. I didn't know what it was about before I went, but the whole gist of it is this very basic level, I'll tell you. This couple is on vacation to a fictional country. At least I think it's fictional. If it's not fictional, then I would be concerned for myself that I've never heard of this country. They're on vacation, they're in a resort, and this country is supposedly very dangerous. They kind of meet this other couple, and then stuff just starts hitting the fan. Shit starts hitting the fan. Is that the thing? Yeah, it's very also like Possession in the way that it's an insane, bizarre movie. Not everyone's gonna like it. My friend was at the same screening. I wasn't sitting with her, but she did not like it as much as I did. And the person that I watched it with didn't like it as much as I did. But I'm a huge Mia Goth fan and Alexander Skarsgård. And to be honest, this director, he came out with a movie. His last movie was Possessor, which I was not really a fan of. I don't know. It just wasn't my type of movie. And it did remind me a lot. This one reminded me a lot of his last movie. But I think it had an easier story to follow. The whole like premise, aside from the couple at a resort, is like, was I hearing this right when they were telling me what was going to happen? Because I was like, wait, what? And they did. And it happened. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, just go watch it because it's very crazy. I gave that one 4.5 stars. And I will say, oh my gosh. Well, let me show you what I got at the screening. At the screening, they gave us, look at that. Look at the teeth, coin teeth. That's crazy. This Do Not Disturb gosh, the ring light is just fucking everything up. Do not disturb, like little thing to put on your door. And a movie poster, mini movie poster, which is really cool. I have like, I'm starting a collection of like little posters. I have a Mia Goth one too. I found it sitting on a table. Mia Goth was also there at the Q&A, and she's so cute. Like she just seems like the sweetest person ever, and it's crazy to me that she can take her performances to these places. God, she's like my #1 favorite actress right now. I just love her. The next movie I watched this is the only one I watched that wasn't a first watch. The movie is called Vivre Sa Vie, which is a French movie from the 1960s, I think, 1962. And it stars Anna Karina. She's just living her life, and she's trying to pay her rent, and she's talking about life with men and her friends, and it's not gonna be for everyone too, but I love the shots in this movie. Like the whole opening scene is basically like the back of her head. I was in a mood where I just wanted to watch someone else live their life. I was watching it while I was getting ready to go watch Infinity Pool. So it's kind of a quick watch. I think it's like 100 minutes. It's not even 100 minutes. It's 84 minutes. So it's a pretty short movie, and she's just so cute. Like I love her. I love her little bob. I cut my hair that night because I just wanted like a bob, you know? But I don't know, the commitment kind of scared me. I do really like this movie a lot. I gave it 4.5 stars. I think if you're into French New Wave or like any older type of movies, then you should watch it. The next movie I watched is called Perfect Blue. It came out in 1997, and a lot of people think Black Swan is like a copy of this movie, like copy and paste. But I was very confused. Personally, I was like, I can see the similarities, but I thought it was like very different. So Perfect Blue is about this girl who's a part of a J-pop group, and she wants to act, so she quits the group. Throughout the movie, she kind of starts seeing visions of her pop star version of herself, and she's kind of like tormented by this vision she keeps seeing. There's a lot of like twists and turns in this movie, and it was kind of like, it's kind of like Black Swan in the sense that it's a psychological thriller, and like you don't really know like if she's seeing things or if it's real. I really liked it. I only gave it 4 stars though, which is really high, but I think there were a lot of sequences that were like a lot of tactics that were overplayed in this movie. But I still really like this movie, and I think if I watch it again, I think it has the potential to go up a bit. But those are all the movies I watched. Let's move on to shows, which the shows, I didn't watch very many shows this month because like I said, I was kind of busy, but I did start watching a series of Unfortunate Events, and I was watching it because I finished watching Wednesday. I kind of like wanted something to fill the void, so I started watching a series of Unfortunate Events. I would also kind of describe it as gothic, but it's not that. Like the show isn't as gothic as the movie, I think. Do I even know what gothic is? Is it gothic? Like it's kind of got like a like a darker aesthetic, the movie. And I love the movie, so I thought maybe I should watch a show. And the show it's good, but it's also a little bit repetitive because you know what's going to happen. If you know the story of a series of Unfortunate Events, they're basically it's these orphans that keep bouncing from like guardian to guardian because their first guardian is like after their fortune because their parents were very rich. And there's also like a secret society in there. I haven't finished it yet, so I don't know all the like pieces of the puzzle, but it does start to get repetitive, but I still enjoy it, so I don't know. I kind of like the movie a little bit more just because it's shorter and just like more condensed. Neil Patrick Harris plays Count Olaf, which is the guy that's after their fortune. And in the movie, it's Jim Carrey that plays Count Olaf. And I think I prefer Jim Carrey's performance just because I feel like, you know, like how do you pass that up? You just kind of can't. Like it's kind of iconic, and I got a feeling that Neil Patrick Harris was kind of like he watched that movie with Jim Carrey in it, and he wanted to do like kind of the same thing. Oh, I'm still watching Gilmore Girls. I'm on season 5, I think. I love this show. Like I love watching it in the mornings with like a cup of coffee, because they're always having coffee in the show, and it's just become like my comfort show right now, and I'm glad like I've never seen it before. I don't know, it's like such a classic show. I think it's so cute. I love it. And these two characters that I think were like meant for each other finally got together. And I'm like, fucking thank God. Like, it's been 5 seasons. I think those are all the shows I started. I don't know if I finished White Lotus. I don't know when that ended. When was the last episode aired? I don't know. I'll count that. I love White Lotus. And I fell in love with the actor who plays Albie. I freaking love him. And his character's just like, people call him an incel, which is, I don't really understand that. I like this season 2 better than season 1 also. So that's saying a lot, because I love season 1. And I just love like the themes. If you haven't watched it, I really recommend you watch it. Watch season 1 obviously first. It is kind of like an anthology series, but there is one character that rolled over into this season, and she was my favorite character. She's played by, oh, should I say? I'm not gonna say, but I love her. If you know, you know. I love her so much. Every time she said something, like her delivery of her lines is just so fucking funny. I love her so much. White Lotus also plays into themes of like sex, money, power, and I love those themes. Oh, and I totally forgot to say what White Lotus is about. White Lotus is about basically like a resort, and a lot of people who go to this resort on vacation, and kind of their stories, how they interconnect, how their stories start connecting to each other. I don't know. Like I said, money, power, sex, love, all that stuff. And I love it. I eat it up. The next thing I'll be talking about is my books, which isn't too much. I read one book at the beginning of January, and then I got a Kindle. I'll show you. I put a clear case on it and a pop socket, just so I can like go in bed and like read it like this. So I actually really like it. So the first book I read was The Bell Jar. I liked it. I was expecting a little bit more, but there are some passages in here that I was like, this is amazing. Like there's a fig tree analogy that kind of stuck with me. I don't know. I liked it, but it definitely didn't stick in my mind as some other books have. I think I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads. Also, if you want to add me on Goodreads, I'll link it below. Essentially, this book is about this girl who wants to be a journalist, I think. She's like in New York. You know when you're like in a room full of people, but you still feel like you're alone? This is kind of like that. It's just her dealing with her depression and trying to fix herself. And it's I don't know why I feel so bad saying it was a little bit forgettable for me, but it just didn't stick out to me. But I really liked it still. I still think it's a good book. But yes, it does deal with like depression, and even if you've had like moments of your life where you're just like doubting yourself, you will probably relate to her at some points. This next book that I read, it's my first book on the Kindle, and I am liking it so far. I'm not done yet. I'm only like 20% done. It's called The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt, and I'm reading it because I really liked The Secret History. I loved her her style of writing. I'm absolutely in love with. It's like, I think it's got the perfect mix of imagery and like description and conversation. I don't know. It's got a perfect mix of both of them. This book so far, it's about this kid who is with his mom at a museum, and then there's like a terrorist attack. Right now he's just like dealing with the aftermath of that. I haven't gotten past this. Obviously I can't say like everything, but I think it follows him in life, and we eventually see him as a grown-up. And they did make a movie about it, and I really want to watch it, but I heard it's really bad, so I'm kind of upset. But I'm sure I'm still gonna like the movie, because I always love reading books and then watching their adaptations. I don't know, I'm excited to finish it, even though it's fucking long. It's like 700 pages. And I'm a very, very slow reader. I have to be like in the mood to read. I can't just really pick up a book and start reading for like 2 hours. Like I have to really be in the mood. Also, if I sleep at night, I end up just falling asleep. So yeah, well, that's pretty much all for the month of January. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you want to follow me on Instagram or Letterboxd, or if you want to be friends on Goodreads, I'll link everything down below. Don't forget to subscribe and give me a thumbs up. Also, I want you guys to hold me accountable. I want to do a Star Wars reaction, and I know Mandalorian season 3 comes up, or it releases March 1st, I think. So I'm like freaking out. I need to like be on that. So if you want to watch that, then don't forget to subscribe. So I'll see you guys in my next video, and hope you guys have a good one. Bye.